What's up, YouTube fight fans all over the world? It's your boy Hard at Work. Real Talk Boxing. We back at you again. Hard workout I just finished, y'all. Hard workout. Never mind that. Saul Canelo Alvarez. Is this dude the truth? He's been a hot topic ever since last weekend. A dominating performance over Callum Smith. Some say Callum Smith wasn't high level opposition. Some say Callum Smith didn't come to fight. All I know is he was a world champion. WBA, that is. Or should I say former world champion. How can we assess this fight? I've already assessed the fight. I've already gave my opinion on Canelo versus Smith. But now what I want to talk about is the question that people are asking. Is Canelo Alvarez the truth? Is he really as good as everybody say or thinks he is? Well, let's take a trip down memory lane. First time I seen him fight was on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather versus Shane Mosley. And I believe he was fighting Miguel Cotto's brother. See, a lot of you guys don't remember that. He did fight Miguel Cotto, but he fought Cotto's brother before he ever stepped in the ring with Miguel. And he got hurt that fight. He got rocked that fight. Came back and won the fight decisively and very beautifully, I might add. And I knew then there was something special about this kid. I believe at the time he was 18, 19 years old. I wasn't about to step in a ring at 18, 19 years old. I didn't have the nuts nor the guts to strap up. At that age, he was already fighting professional. Now, Canelo is 30 years old now. And he has, 54 fights? 36 knockouts? So the dude is very seasoned for that age. He's in his prime right now. Okay, 30 years old isn't old. He's in his prime right now. Now, let's break down Canelo's style. He's a short fighter, 5'8", explosive in spurts. He picks his shots very, very well. Very, very precise. None of his punches, dang near any of his punches, are not accurate. Majority of his punches are very accurate. He is an amazing counter puncher. And he holds power. Lots of power. I've never seen someone walk to the ring and get in the ring so comfortable, so nonchalant, so at home in the ring. The bell ringing to meet in the middle of the ring to fight for Canelo is like him walking into the kitchen to get a glass of iced tea. That's how calm and serene he looks. And that's how calm and serene he is while he's fighting. His defense is very, very good. You see a lot of fighters when they slip a punch, they over-exaggerate the slip. Canelo, very subtle. Bag up. Block. Turn. Turn back. Mere inches. He's getting away out of the punches. He's getting out of the way of the punches by mere inches. And what does that do? Leaves him a better opportunity to counter quicker. Quicker. Now, I want you guys to listen to me on this. When he fought last weekend against Smith, Smith's arm, his left arm, I believe it was bruised. I say more so swollen. And you had people saying, oh, he has a ruptured or a detached bicep, or he pulled his bicep muscle. Well, the swelling was on the outside of his arm, people. The bicep's here on the front. There's two different heads to the bicep, long and short, and they're here, not here. Canelo was throwing powerful, powerful right hooks to that arm. And at some point in time in that fight, he saw that was bothering Smith. So he continued to pound on that arm. He was taking out a limb. He was essentially taking out a weapon of Callum Smith. Not many fighters are smart enough, strong enough, and skilled enough to do that. When I actually realized that, it reminded me of a movie, one of my favorite sci-fi movies. It was called Starship Troopers. And I remember in boot camp, they were training the soldiers, and they were training how to throw knives. Now, mind you, this movie, I'm getting off subject, but mind you, this movie is in the future. So they have all these futuristic laser guns, futuristic cannons, all this stuff, right? So one of the soldiers asked the sergeant, "Sir, we got guns. Why are we trying to learn how to throw knives?" And the drill sergeant stopped everything. He says, "Put your hand on that wall, soldier." "What do you mean, drill sergeant?" "Put your hand on that wall." He put his hand up against the wall. The drill sergeant got the knife, threw the knife at his hand, and it stuck his hand in the wall, stabbing right through his hand. The dude screaming and yelling, he said, "If you disable the enemy's hand, he cannot use his weapon." And that's what Canelo Alvarez did. It wasn't an injury sustained by Smith throwing a punch wrong or something like that. It was the effect of Canelo Alvarez throwing a right hook to the outside of his left arm. Very smart, very old school. Not many fighters know to do that. Not many fighters know to do that. And I honestly believe that Canelo carried Smith those 12 rounds. And here's why I say that. I've watched the fight twice already since Saturday night. And I think Canelo just wanted to get some rounds in, wanted to get that rust off. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. And I think he could have took Callum out in the 9th, 10th, 11th round if he wanted to. If he really, really wanted to. But I think he just wanted to get some rounds in. Okay, let's talk about Canelo's resume. It's stacked. It's very stacked. Now, you can make an argument to say that he fought some fighters past their prime, Shane Mosley being one of them. I agree. You know, but he has fighters on his record like freaking Lara, Austin Trout, when Austin Trout was on top, Miguel Cotto, Triple G, who else? What's my man's name? Daniel Jacobs. Even though I'm done with Daniel, he's trash right now. So forth and so on, man. Many fighters of top level competition and opposition, top level fighters that he faced and he beat. The only one loss on paper is against Floyd Mayweather. Arguably one of the best fighters ever or in his era. One or the other. So there's no shame in losing to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Plus, he was still 20, 21. And I told people that Canelo was going to lose this fight because of lack of experience. But look what he's been doing ever since that loss. Now, he has one loss on paper, but I believe he has 2 losses. Because that first fight against Triple G, I believe he lost. And now, since I'm talking Triple G, you do know that they're going to fight again, right? You do know that they're going to fight a third time. I don't want to see it. Honestly, I don't. But in some way, shape, or form, it makes sense. Because it generates money. It generates pay-per-view buys and views. Now, here's the reason why Canelo Alvarez will fight Triple G again. Triple G is dang near 40 years old. Their first fight was in 2017, I believe. So, Gennady would have been 35, 36. Now, you can make an argument and say, well, Golovkin, his last fight, he looked like the Triple G of old. He did. He did. But we have to understand the level of opposition in front of him. Wait a minute, real talk. Well, what about Smith? He wasn't necessarily top level competition. He was a world champion. But it was a tune-up fight, right? So tell me this. Who looked better in their comeback fight? Canelo or Triple G? I'm going to say Canelo. And I'm going to say the reason why they're going to fight again is because Triple G is dang near 40 years old. Sometimes age is more than just a number. Canelo is 30. Triple G almost has 10 years on him. Triple G looked great in that fight. He looked great. But he did look a little bit slower than usual. But they have similar styles. They fight in spurts. They're counterpunchers. Their timing is immaculate. So it's who's going to go forward and stay going forward. Much like Canelo did in the second fight. The aggression won him that fight. But that fight is going to happen. I don't want to see it. Well, wait a minute. Real talk. There's fighters in Canelo's weight class that he didn't fight. Did he duck Charlo or did Charlo duck him? Did he vacate to duck Charlo or did Charlo not take the offer? Did he offer Charlo anything? Charlo says no. But in any event, do I think he will beat Charlo? Definitely. Then you got Demetrius Andrade, however you say his name. Boo Boo. Boo Boo was upset. He was commentating the fight and got into it with one of the announcers. Like, there's better fighters out there that he can fight. And he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. But I say he will knock Mr. Demetrius Andrade or Andre spark out. That fight would be much like him against James Kirkland. That's how that fight will end. Because Demetrius throws caution to the wind. That son of a gun just throws haymakers. His defense is not that good. He leaves himself open. He throws punches from way down here, way up there. And I think Canelo, matter of fact, I'm almost pretty certain that Canelo will knock him out within 5 to 6 rounds. So make that fight happen if you want. It'll showcase Canelo's talent. And it'll give Demetrius a big payday. So no harm, no foul, right? No harm, no foul. But is Canelo stand up in the ring? Is Canelo the top fighter of our era as of right now? Do I stamp him the truth? Because let's face it, there are more fighters out there that he could face of high opposition. But does he beat them all? Does he beat them all? What do you say, real talk? What do you say? What do you stamp Canelo Alvarez? I'm getting my stamp ready. I stamp Canelo Alvarez. Boom! The truth, baby. Canelo Alvarez is the truth. Y'all seen it. We all know. He does have 1 loss on paper, but 2 losses in my mind. But should and when they rematch for the 3rd time, I think he'll beat Triple G convincingly. More so than the 2nd fight. He's getting better and better as we speak. He really is. And that's not to sleep on Triple G, because he is still a monster. But he's almost 40 years old. And in some cases, age is more than just a number. So Canelo, Saul, Canelo Alvarez, you are, my friend, the truth. Never mind my personal opinion. Comment below and let me know. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm crazy? Or do you think I'm spot on? Respect all, fear none. God bless. Till the next time, Real Talk Boxing, baby. Done.